I'm Stacey Holmes, and this is Glordinary, a few moments where we celebrate God's glory and champion the ordinary. I'm glad you're here. Names are a big deal, right? I can remember poring over baby naming books for both of our daughters. My husband John and I wanted our girls to carry a name with meaning and purpose. I never wanted to wake up one day and realize that I had accidentally named my child Cottonhead and Ninnymuggins or something like that. We've spoken their names to them, but we've also spoken their names over them. Wisdom and Brave as a Lioness, they've each lived into those names. And if you know my girls' personalities at all, you can guess which one means which. Of course, Holmes, our last name, means, quote, a piece of flat ground submerged in a flood. Awesome. Well, you work with what you've got, right? Hey, I've met some girls, and I hear their last names, and I think, dude, she really loved you to take on a name like that. Well, last week, we talked a bit about naming. If you haven't had a chance to listen to our conversation last week, check out episode number 114, Don't Hit Snooze on Spring. In it, we talked through a seasonal examen, which is Latin for our English word examen, 4 gentle alarms to wake us up to spring after the long winter season. And as I began writing things down for my own seasonal examen, I walked through the prompts to stop hitting snooze and to wake up, to realign my heart toward His, to get my spiritual posture readjusted. And I began to notice some patterns emerge, like a thread weaving its way throughout my responses. Layers of grief or pockets of fear, and a general feeling of stuckness. Have you ever been here? I prayed through the 4 prompts and their coinciding reflection questions. Do you remember these from last week? Spot where you are. See what needs your attention. Skip what weighs you down. And savor what nourishes you. I began to name these places, events, activities, people, mindsets, even my habits, as I was coming out of winter and steadying myself for spring. Because it's a both and season for me as major shifts are colliding in the Holmes household. I'm excited and I'm dreading. I'm cheering and I'm bracing myself for impact. It's a whole thing right now. And it helps to notice it, just like Moses turned aside to see this strange sight, Exodus 3 tells us, this bush that does not burn up. Yes, it helps to notice. It helps to name it, right? Absolutely. Ish. I can't help but identify with Moses. I mean, God's saying, I'm going to need you to go talk to Pharaoh and command him to let all my people go. And Moses figuratively hears that first alarm of our seasonal examen, spot where you are. And he's like, yeah. I don't know if you're aware, but who am I to go do this? You might want to refresh, God. I was rescued from the reeds, raised in the palace, rejected by my own people, nearly eradicated by Pharaoh, and raced out of Egypt to Midian, which, P.S., Midian's at least 250 plus miles away. I mean, brother put some distance between the Act 1 and the Act 2 of his life. And Moses says, who am I? I don't speak well. I'm not quick on my feet in a conversation. Come on, you got to send somebody else. I can't even get my own people to listen to me. And every parent in the world says an amen. Why would Pharaoh listen to me? Moses is saying. And don't you see what he's doing? Moses does the exact same thing that we do. He's giving it a name. I'm not this. I'm not this. I'm not this. And by the way, this is where I am. Midian. So what's my Midian? Moses names it because it helps to name where we are, right? Why? Because naming signifies ownership. There's a story in 2 Samuel 12 where King David's army commander Joab is about to defeat the Ammonites and capture the royal citadel. And David's MIA due to, let's just say, a little entanglement with Bathsheba. And Joab sends word to King David saying this, now muster the rest of the troops and besiege the city and capture it. Otherwise, I will take the city and it will be named after me. Because naming signifies ownership. But here's the thing. Just like in home ownership, stuff's gonna hit the fan. The roof's gonna leak. The drain's gonna decide we ain't draining today. The appliances are gonna give up the ghost because they don't make them like they used to. But you own it. Your name's on the deed because naming signifies ownership. Moses named the spots in his life, the insecurities, the weaknesses, the fears. Why would he want to go back to the people who rejected him, who shamed him? He's a fugitive, for crying out loud. He murdered an Egyptian and hid the body. The Israelites don't accept him. The Egyptians want to kill him. Everything about going back is just wrong. And Moses names it. He owns it. And just as I was writing out my own seasonal examen reflections, I was reminded of all the things I was naming as I moved through the prompts. Spot, see, skip, savor. I began to notice, to name, to carry, to own. Except God never asked Moses to shoulder the load, to carry it, to own it. And he doesn't ask me to do that either, or you. I finished my seasonal examen last week, and this week I asked God to rename it, to transfer ownership. Moses' first reply to God is, "Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh to bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" But then he wants to know, who are you? He says, okay, suppose I go, just hypothetically speaking. Let's say I go to the Israelites and tell them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. They're going to say, oh yeah? Well, what's his name? And Exodus 3:14 says, God said to Moses, I am who I am, all caps. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God's name, and his name depicts his character, his dependability, his faithfulness. So yes, I'm naming the places in my life that are needing attention this spring, the things I'm desperately trying to cling to, and I'm slowly uncurling my grip to transfer that ownership. I've named what needs named, and now I'm exchanging ownership to the I am, to the one that 2 Samuel 6 refers to as, quote, the name, capital N. It's a good thing to name where you are. I just don't want to get stuck there, to put down roots and settle in that spot. I don't want, in essence, to keep saying like Moses, oh, I can't do that. I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not that. I can't. I'm tired of owning every single thing I name, all of it dependent on me, myself, and I. I'm transferring ownership today. I'm choosing today to transfer everything I name to the name above all names. Are there places that you still need to name in your seasonal examen? Where do you need to transfer ownership today? Let's do it together. Remember, you're not alone in this. I'm praying for you, friend. Have a glordinary day.